Hello, everybody. It's Cassie Holberg again. I decided that what I'm going to try to do is teach my favorite things as often as possible throughout March. And then once we get all of my favorite things out there and cataloged, then I'm going to go ahead and get into a weekly cadence. So right now, I'm just going to try to do content as often as I can. So right now, I am going to teach you my favorite thing to use. It's our 12-inch trimmer. So let me just get my hands over to my desk and let's get started. Okay, so this trimmer was so popular that it sold out 3 times before we could keep it in stock. And I'm going to teach you some basics and then a really fun trick at the end. It comes in 2 colors. If you go on our website and look, there's a dark blue and a white one. And honestly, they're both just as amazing. This one I just think is prettier, and it has, I think sometimes the lines are easier to see, but I'm actually going to use this one on camera because if you look, the blue one sometimes has a little bit of a glare on it. So I'm going to go with what's best for all of you to watch with. So it is, as I teach this class or these techniques, I am going to walk you through the things that it does. So I'm not just going to tell you them all up front. I'm going to tell you as we go. So the first thing I'm going to teach you is my favorite thing that it does, and this is called magic mats. And if you look, this trimmer has blades that come out, and you can get all kinds of different fun blades to go in. And those will be part of future things that I'm going to teach you. Today, it's just going to be the straight trimmer. Hello, Vicki. It's so good to see you. So I am going to teach you how to do this. Now, if you look closely at my trimmer, I have a little label up here in the corner. You can make one of those, but I'm going to explain the math so that really you could make any size mat you ever wanted. So, paper for scrapbooking comes in 12 by 12 format. And we often want to mat our pictures, our 4 by 6 pictures with 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. No volume. I think that might just be you. I will double check. I think everybody else has volume. So I'm going to keep going. And if somebody else doesn't have volume, please let me know and I will come on and redo it. So if you look, our paper is 12 by 12. And if you want to make a mat, oftentimes you want to do 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 or 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. And if you add 4 1/2 plus 6 1/2 together, it comes to less than 12. But to do the other side, if you wanted to do 6 1/2 by 6 1/2, that would come to more than 12, right? So you have to find a way to cut it so that you don't waste your paper. So the way that I try to explain this to people so that they understand is that if you do 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, then you need to start with a square that is those added together. So 4 1/4 plus 6 1/4 is 10 1/2. 4 1/2 plus 6 1/2 is 11. 5 by 7 is 12 by 12. So if you're going to cut 5 by 7 mats, then you're just going to use your whole sheet of paper. If you're going to cut something different, then you're going to need to cut it down. So let's just go ahead and cut this down to the most common size that I use, and that's 10 1/2 by 10 1/2. Now I'm going to do this twice because I'm going to show you another fun trick that you can do, but I'm just going to focus completely on the basics the first time through. So we're going to cut it to 10 1/2 by 10 1/2. And then this comes out so that when you want to measure bigger things, you can. And if you flip it, it has a little foot, and that keeps it nice and steady. So you can put your foot out to cut, put your foot in, and then slide it away. So now we're going to take our 10 1/2 by 10 1/2 sheet, and we're going to turn it into 4 mats. So if you look, this white line right here is where your paper is cutting on the vertical. And over here, it's where it's cutting on the horizontal. And from here to the front is 1 inch. So some people turn their trimmer on the side and they can watch where the white line goes to. I am a vertical person. I like mine to go this way. And so what I do is I know that from here to here is exactly 1 inch. So I stop the front of my trimmer 1 inch before I get to where I want to be. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to measure over to 4 1/4 at the top. I use these nice lines to keep it perfectly straight. And then I cut it down to 6 1/4. When this white line gets to 6 1/4, the front of it is going to be at 7 1/4. So I'm just going to bring it down like this. And there we go. Now, if you rotate it to the left and put it at 4 1/4, you can do it again. Some people find this easier to do. This is what my friend Meg showed me, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. So if I bring this to 7 1/4, then my white line is at 6 1/4, and I can start and just go up, and I don't have to worry about slowing down and making sure that I am going to cut through the paper. So 4 1/4, at this point, it doesn't even matter because you literally just have the paper left. So we end up with 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats without wasting a lot of paper. So that's exciting to me because I mat a lot. As you get to know me, you are going to find that matting is my friend. But I am going to show you a way to save even more paper. So this way you get to see the trick one more time and an extra little added bonus. So if I want to cut this paper down and do the exact same thing, I actually have 1 1/4 inches. My friend Tanya's doing this right now because I've taught this at probably every major event I've done. So we're just going to come in and we're going to use our border maker. Border maker systems is going to be something I teach a little bit later on, but this is just a way to make it so that you can make your paper go a little bit further. So I'm going to bring it in, and the way the border maker cartridge works is it has these nice nifty little clips that come out and hold it in place, and it has a notch here and a notch here to help you see where it's going to line up, and then underneath, these little things are going to lock into these. And I like to tell people how things work because I found that when people know how things work, it makes it a lot easier to make them work. So first thing you should know is that the first punch is flush with the edge. I see a lot of people trying to start like this. The first punch is always flush with the edge. And all we're doing is bringing this down and cutting off the edge so that we can make a border and not waste our paper whenever we make our mats. So I'm going to bring this and I'm going to put it off to the side. And now remember, you're cutting it off both sides, so you want to rotate, and it won't quite be 12 by 12. But at the end, whenever I put this all together, I will show you something fun that you can do. So you're just going to start it. You're going to come down your page, your paper, just like this. Just like you did the one before. It's just that it's only going to have a little bit to cut at the end. No big deal. So now we've made these 2 borders out of the leftover paper. New Zealand, that's exciting. People are joining me from all over. I'm so excited. My kids were super impressed that I hit over 100 followers overnight. So if you don't mind sharing, please share because I'd really like to impress these young people. Okay, so I lifted my foot up. There it is, so it's nice and steady. And I'm just going to make sure that this is 10 1/2. So there's a little bit left from my border by 10 1/2. So how exciting is that? You already got 2 borders out of it, and now you get 4 mats too. I am all about helping you guys get your best deal out of what you have. So now, remember what I said, 10 1/2 by 10 1/2 gives you this 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mat. We're going to bring it over to 4 1/4. We're going to bring it down here so that it's 6 1/4. And that means the front of this is at 7 1/4. The cut line where it's going to cut is at 6 1/4. We're going to go up the paper. So it's going to rotate to the left. We're going to do it again, bring it down, and go up. And look at that. 1 mat. 2 mat. 3 mat, 4. Ta-da! Okay, so now I'm going to show you more things that we can do with this because, oh my goodness, it is my favorite tool out there in the entire history of the world. So I'm going to teach you something fun. So we have this piece of paper. It's 12 by 12, and we want to cut it into a triangle. Maybe we want to spread it across 2 pages. I'm going to show you something even cooler, but whatever you want to do, you want to cut it. And what's going to happen? You put it in your trimmer, and you just can't do it, right? It's not going to cut. So if you take your paper and you carefully fold it, just like this, and you don't want to make it too creased because you're going to uncrease it then. So you just want to get it folded just like this so that the tips are together, fold it across here, and now we are going to put it across here. And there's a couple of things that you can do to make sure that you end up with a perfect triangle. Both sides of this has these handy dandy little magnifying glasses. And watch this. I'm going to slide it until the magnifying glass with a straight little line showing me where it's going to cut is perfectly over the point. That's so exciting because now I can make sure I cut my triangle the way I want to. This is on a spring in case I didn't tell you that sooner. And we're just going to go like this. So the first thing that gives you is a nice triangle that you can use somewhere on your page. But wait, there's more. So I'm going to just show you how to put together a really quick and fun page using your triangles. And we're going to take this and we're going to put the fold, this is the folded side, up along the top. And we're going to measure over to 1.5. Now, it doesn't matter how far you measure over. You get to decide, and you're going to be able to make something fun however far you want it to be, but I'm telling you the measurements I'm using in case you just want to copy it the first time. So you just go 1.5, and then you're going to slide it over to 2.5 for the next one. And you can do this with other size squares. I will show you that in a little bit. But the important thing is if you want matching pages, you do it the same way again. So we're going to measure over to 1.5. We're going to measure over to 2.5. Remember, you can always use these to line it up perfectly. And voila. And keep your 2 little piles separate because I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. Okay. As I told you, I love to build on Fast to Fab pages. So these are the new Painted Garden Fast to Fab pages, which are stunning. And I'm going to build right onto them. So I'm going to take my triangles, I'm going to unfold, slide this over so everything's on screen. And we're going to take this triangle, and we've got this one, and then we're going to unfold this one, and we want it to be the opposite way. And then we're going to unfold this one, and it's the opposite way. And then we're going to come over here, and we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to line everything up so it lines up. And now we can tape it down, and I'll show you what's next. I love fast things that you can use over and over again, and you can use in multiple ways. Because let's face it, we all have a lot of pictures, right? We can't help ourselves. Our kids are cute. We have fun trips. Everything about our life is exciting. And we really want to be able to celebrate that. And so when you can make it really pretty and have fast techniques that you can use over and over again, it really makes your life easier. So we're going to take that and we're going to come over here. We're just going to do the exact same thing. And I almost always use repositionable tape because I can pull it back up if I mess up, especially when I'm on camera. Because, you know, you might not believe this, but I have stage fright. It took me from June until now to decide to get my YouTube channel going. And that's only because I was nervous about how I would sound on camera. I do a virtual event every quarter with over 700 people, but I do it with 4 other really talented ladies, and I guess that gave me the confidence. But launching my YouTube channel just seemed scary to me. But here I am. I'm finally doing it. I'm so excited because I had so many of my friends say, well, it's about time. So, love you, Karen. Love you, Lanita. Thank you for telling me that I should have done it. Got my button gear. So, okay, now I've just put this down. And now I can add some mats to it because I already made them, right? So some fun places to put mats. I actually think I'll switch this out to this green one. I knew I pulled this color out for a reason. Yep, I'm going to switch it over to the green. But I'm going to keep some of the canary also. So I'm going to put that there. And I'll put a photo here and here and here. And I'll switch this one and this one to Kelly Green, and that will make me happy. So if you want to stick with me, I'm going to do the mats one more time. I am not going to save the paper because I know where to get more. I've got lots of it. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. The other thing that I do is I'm going to be on another tutorial later when I teach the border maker system, how I turn this into a border even though it's short. And we will talk about that probably later this week because I've been feeling on a roll. So I did my 10.5 by 10.5, and now I'm just going to bring it over to 4 1/4, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Cut. Put it down so it cuts at 6 1/4, and cut. And I'm going to go all the way around like this. Okay. These are also fun because you can add some stickers on them and layer. So lots of fun pieces to use when you do this technique. So I'm going to come over here, and now I'm just going to like it better. Oh yeah, I'm going to like it better like this. Not that one, this one. Okay. This is what's speaking to me. And what's really great is everybody's going to have slightly different look to things, and you get to decide what looks good to you. Just make sure this is all the way up on camera again. Put this down up here. Switch this out for this one because I bummed up this corner. So I'll save that for when I'm going to do like maybe a 4x4 photo and I want to trim it a little bit. That way I don't waste the paper, but I'm happy with my corners. I'm going to add over here. And my goats are right outside my cabin saying, hey, Mom, come out and play with us. I posted pictures of them the other day right at my scrapbooking door. They're not allowed in the cabin. Okay, so I'm going to add this here. Look at these beautiful mats, guys. I do have to show these off for just a second. Creative Memories has just been outdoing themselves. These colors are amazing. Just incredible. So I'm going to add this up here because I journal. I write about all the things because my mom didn't necessarily do that. And that's something that I wish I had. I wish I had more. I wish I had more photos. I wish I had more everything, to be honest. So she was amazing. Okay. So I'm going to put this picture here and that one there. And I'm actually going to turn this one because I realized that I have more of my horizontal than vertical. So not a big deal. It's easy to switch up. And voila, I get to get another double page spread down, which I have to tell you was another one of my goals, that when I teach classes, I put pictures on the page so that they're finished and you guys can see them finished. Sometimes when I teach, I just teach without putting the pictures down. And, you know, it's nice to be able to see what it looks like when it's all done. So I'm going to show you one more quick thing after I get these pictures down. And you can see what this looks like. I'll add some stickers later. But look at that. Oh, I just love it. I just love this paper. I love this collection. Okay, now I'm going to show you one more quick little thing, just because. So if you take a smaller sheet of paper, you can do the same thing. And this one you actually can cut, so that's why I didn't do a smaller one. You could just cut it like this, but then you won't have to fold and you won't have the nice, quick, easy way to make the corners. So we're just going to fold it just like we did the other one, even though it would fit in here. And we're going to put it up here, and we are going to cut it in half just like we did before, but it's smaller. So I'm going to make sure I have it. Yep, I do. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my fold across the top, and I think I'm just going to come over to 1 inch because remember it's smaller. And then I'm going to come over to 1.5 inches. So that's one little pile. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to come over to 1 inch. I'm going to come over to 1.5 inches. I've got my second little pile. And let's see. Just going to flip it around. And you can do the same thing with the little corners as we did with the big corners. So I just wanted to point out it can work for any size. Once you know the technique, you can use it over and over again for all kinds of things. And I hope that helps some people do some fast and fun pages. So thanks for joining me. I hope that you learned something, and I will put some more content out there later. Thanks, everybody, and please share and please subscribe. Have a great day.